Admiration can sometimes be like a quiet undercurrents in the sea, not always visible on the surface, but powerful and transformative. Understanding when someone holds you in high esteem, especially in a romantic context, can be both enlightening and heartwarming. It's a simple, consistent actions and gestures that often speak volumes about how someone feels about you. Here are some of the signs. There is a big difference between hearing and truly listening. A guy who admires you doesn't just hear the words coming out of your mouth, but he also listens. He will remember the little details you might have mentioned in passing weeks ago. Maybe you talked about a book you're reading or a movie you love. Not only does he remember, but he might bring it up on future conversations. This shows that he values your words and thoughts. He's invested in getting to know you better. You see, for someone who is genuinely interested, every piece of information help them to understand you better, painting a vivid picture of who you are. Eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and for a good reason. A guy who admires you might hold your gaze just a tad longer than usual. There is a spark, an unmistakable glint that hard to miss. Not only does he maintain eye contact, but you might also catch him stealing glances your way across the room. That said, it's not always about how long he looks, but how he looks. Sometimes a fleeting glance can say more about a long stare. So if you notice someone often initiating contact with you, it's a strong indicator that they admire you. This could be anything from starting a conversation to suggesting meetings or get-togethers. Now, here's something you might not know. According to research in the field of interpersonal relationships, people tend to initiate contact more frequently with those they admire or are attached to. But it doesn't mean that every person who messages you first secretly admires you. But if there is consistent pattern, that maybe it's a sign. Compliments are a clear sign of admiration, but they aren't always straightforward as you might think. People who secretly admire you often give you compliments that are more subtle or indirect. Like, they might not tell you directly that you're smart, but they could mention how they appreciate your thoughtful insights during a meeting, or instead of saying you're talented, they might express admiration for your skills and achievements. They are actually their genuine compliments for you. He liked teasing you. That might sound childish, playful banter can be a sign of affection. It's like he's trying to establish a fun connection, a little word where just the two of you exist. It's a space filled with inside jokes and light-hearted jabs. However, there is a fine line here. The teasing should always feel fun and never mean-spirited. The intention behind it is clear closeness, not to hurt. If it feels warm and playful, then it's a sign of affection for you. Today's world of social media, our online interactions can be just as telling as our offline ones. Does he text or call often? Maybe he send you funny memes, sounds he's thinking you would love, or articles that remind him of conversation you have had. Engaging with you online, especially without any particular reason, is also a sign of admiration. If it's way of saying, hi, I'm thinking of you, plus he's liking, commenting, and sharing your post, then another sign of admiration. When people admire you, they tend to value your opinion highly. They might think for your advice on various issues or consult you before making important decisions. This is because they respect your judgments and believe that your insights can add value. If someone often seeks your point of view or advice or opinion, it's a strong sign that they admire you highly. They are very protective towards you. A guy who admires you might show signs of being protective, not in an overbearing way, but in the manner that shows that he genuinely cares about your well-being. Perhaps he ensures that you are safe while crossing the road, or he might ask you about your friends and the places you visit. This protective nature comes from a place of concern. He always wants to ensure that you are okay, and that's endearing. But as with everything, balance is crucial. Being protective is sweet, but being possessive or overly controlling is not so much. Often, actions speak louder than words. Maybe he lean in a little closer when you speak, or his feet are always pointed towards you in a group setting. Subconscious body language can reveal feelings that words might not convey. For instance, mirroring is a clear sign and a classic sign. Does he unconsciously mimic your actions or gestures during a conversation? This signifies a deep connection and can indicate admiration. He's curious about your life. Does he ask about your day, your dreams, or those random stories from your childhood? These questions go beyond surface level chit chat. It's about your aspirations, your fears, and those little moments that made you who you are today. There is an eagerness, a thirst to know more and dive deeper. Being a part of someone's world means understanding it. So if he's making the efforts, asking questions, and diving into your universe, he's not just passing time, but he truly admires you and wants to know more about you. Ever notice someone mimicking your gestures or expressions? It might seem strange, but it's actually a sign of admiration. Psychologists have discovered that we naturally tend to copy the behavior, postures, and mannerism of people who admire or like. It's our subconscious way of bonding or connecting with them. A man who admires you more than you know will not keep this admiration to himself. He will be eager to showcase your achievements to others. It's a pride that comes from a place of genuine love and respect, not possessiveness. When you accomplish something, no matter how big or small, he's the first one to tell it about their friends, family, and even colleagues. Another sign of secret admiration is when someone remembers the little details about your life. They remember your birthday and everything that you said in the last conversation, or even what was your dress and what was your hairstyle at that time, and what's important for you and what's not important to you, what hurt you and what's not.